Hey, everybody. You guys let me know if you can hear me okay, if everything's coming through well. Um, if you guys want to go ahead and at me and let me know the name of your subclass, I'll try to go through those in order. But first, um, I wanted to just sort of get everybody up to speed on what we're doing. We are running currently the Nimble Design Jam number 3. This one is on subclasses. So if you want all of the details, it is here in the news post, and I believe it's in the description of this video as well. But where I wanted to, Herald of Terror, that sounds cool. Where I wanted to start off is here. So I want to give you guys an idea of how many. So we're up to 258 submissions. So it's slowed down a little bit, not a lot, but we're over 200 submissions, which is a lot. Um, so the class that has the most subclasses currently is Berserker with 33, the Cheat with 26, so Hunter has 17, other, so that's the Artificer and Hexbinder. Both have 15 between the two of them. So the Artificer and Hexbinder, not a shock, they have the fewest. Shepherd is at 18. Stormshifter's at 18. It looks like Hunter has the least. So if you guys want to design some for those that have the fewest, so Stormshifter, Shepherd, Hunter, and Commander, as well as the Artificer and Hexbinder. Of course, those you're gonna have the highest likelihood of getting noticed and winning those. Okay, so where I wanted to start this morning, and good morning, everybody. By the way, it's good to have you guys here with me. Where I wanted to start was going over the creator's kit. So this isn't like a teacher's syllabus, like, oh, make sure you read the syllabus. You really don't have to read the syllabus. It's not that kind of thing at all. This is actually like has just useful information. So a lot of people were submitting things. I was reviewing things that it sounded like people hadn't really read through or hadn't recently read through the creator's kit. So the number one rule is avoid anything that's fiddly. Can you do it in fewer steps? Can the thing just happen? Don't ever have a save with a damage roll or like more than one step to do a thing. Can you make the calculation easier using level or d20s, like larger dice rather than more dice? So like 2, 3, 4 dice is fine, but if it's going to be happening like more than once per turn, you want to make it much easier. Can you use D20s? Can you use D100s maybe, or DXX, like D66, that sort of thing, rather than like 12D4 or 9D6. Like you can do like 9D6 like once in a session, right? But you don't want to really do that more than once. Like if it's a big showpiece thing, like that kind of thing could be cool and it's fine. I probably wouldn't go higher than that. But make sure you're reading through this. Mechanics where they can see the result rather than figure out the result or find the result. Avoid dividing by things. Avoid multiplying difficult numbers. That kind of stuff. Conditions. Any game state that you have to track, or especially any game state that the GM has to track or other players have to track, avoid that. So the Hexbinder has a lot of mechanics where has tracking, but it's only the Hexbinder really cares about this, and nobody else has to track it, and it's only tracking it for one monster. So it's like she focuses on like conditions and things, but it's a very powerful conditions or limited in scope, and nobody else really needs to be bothered with it. But that's like the one thing that she does, right? So in that case, it's okay. So we don't want to have any mental overhead, or we want to limit it as much as possible. Maintaining the flow. Make sure things that interrupt the flow are important and rare. So if you do have to do something on someone else's turn, it better be really important and rare. Okay, or it's something that could happen asynchronously. So for instance, the Oathsworn, their judgment dice, they roll them when it's not their turn. So like nobody else has to wait for them to roll their judgment dice. They have it and they can even add it up while it's not their turn, so that when it is their turn, when they do finally smack a creature, they already know how much how much damage it's going to do. They don't have to find the dice and roll it, and everybody's waiting on them. That's something that's happening asynchronously. Or if I as a GM attack a monster, or if I as a GM with a monster attack a hero, they can defend or interpose or whatever. Like I don't really care. Y'all do whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to slow me down. Okay, whoever's interposing, you're taking 13 damage. Y'all figure it out. I don't need to slow down or stop or anything like that. Any mechanic that requires information from another player before proceeding, avoid those like the plague. Uh, uh, really, you just want to like not have those if at all possible. Okay, I wouldn't worry too much about the wording. I can definitely help you guys with the wording. Like so, first to make it cool. Okay, make it just super dope. Um, and then we can like wording is sort of the last thing. So don't worry too much about that part. Designing classes, it is important to know that you want to front load the fun. So like the level 3 feature, like the cool feature shouldn't be like the level 7 one or the level 11 or 15 one. The cool feature should be the level 3 one, right? Like, ooh, I want to pick this because I get this now, right? Not in like 6 months from now when I'm level 11. So it should be like you should get a cool thing, like something that's really, really cool. At level 3, right? So that one should be the cool one, right? Because they're going to be comparing your level 3 feature with like, you know, there's gonna be 3 other level 3 features that the other subclasses are gonna get, and like, yeah, maybe your level 15 one is like way better, but like this level 3 one that I'm gonna get now is like, it's cooler now, so I'm gonna get that, right? So why would someone pick your subclass? Like, front load the fun. It shouldn't be overwhelming, and maybe like the level 5 or 7 feature or a 7 or 11 feature, like that can make it better. You can do it more often, but it should be cool from the get go. Okay. Um, the level 15 feature, treat that sort of like a capstone thing. Very rare. It's gonna be very rare that anybody ever gets to level 15. Maybe 1% of people, 5% of people. But it should treat it like this is the big dream ability, right? Like, ooh, like the level 15 thing should be so cool. Okay. So make sure you have that in mind. Nobody is, very few people are going to get there, but it should just be like, yeah, this would be so cool if, or like, the thing that the people can dream about. Okay. Okay. Um, make sure you're not incentivizing hoarding or going Nova. Make sure things are happening properly, not on a short rest or field rest, that kind of thing. Make sure I did see this one a lot. There were certain things that were like, hey, you can interpose for free, or you have this, or like things that were like very oath sworn. Yeah, like we don't want to steal unique things from other classes because then everything just sort of like gets mixed up. So we want to make sure that there is lane protection. Don't worry about retraining and multiclassing. Don't worry about all of these things. Um, okay, so average hero stats. This is really, really important. So if you have some cool like level 3 thing and it's like an attack, or like some cool level 11 thing, and you expect it to deal damage or something, uh, the average damage per turn for level 11 is going to be roughly 36. Okay, so if your ability is dealing way more than that, it better be very restricted or have some requirements or something else to make it like, well, I'm just going to use this every time forever, right? Or if it's like you can do it, it only takes one action, you can do it, it's super range and like all this sort of stuff. Like it's really, really easy to do, and it's dealing 36 damage. Like that's probably way too much, right? Because like this is like for the entire turn. So you don't worry too much about the balance being exactly correct, but you can use this as sort of like a sanity check. Okay, so with that, let's get into some of the thingies. Let's get into some of these. And I'm going to refresh just to make sure I have the latest version, you guys. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, so let me scroll back to the top. Rayford got in first with Herald of Terror. I like the name of that. Terror. Herald of Terror. Level 3, Haunting Threat. This is for the Songweaver. Once per turn, you may deal damage with when you deal damage with Vicious Mockery. Let me select this and go to Format, Wrapping, Overflow. There we go. No, Format, Wrapping, Wrap. There we go. Now that'd be easier. When you deal damage with Vicious Mockery once per turn, instead of taunting, you may frighten the target until the end of their turn. Ooh, that's cool. Um, that's cool. So a couple of things that I think about whenever I'm looking at that sort of thing. Will this completely break a legendary encounter? So these abilities should be cool to use against goblins. They should be cool to use against like Tarrasques, for instance. Um, so is it only cool if I use it against a Tarrasque? Is it overpowered if I use it against a Tarrasque? Is it underpowered if I use it against a goblin? So think about that kind of thing. Um, and I'm just using Trask as like an example, not necessarily that thing exactly. So when you deal damage with Vicious Mockery, instead of taunting, you may frighten the target until end of turn. That is quite good. Frightened means that they have. So let's go to heroes. Vicious Mockery. Target is taunted. So mechanically, what this means is that monster has disadvantage on all attacks except against you. This one is quite the buff because it means they have disadvantage on all attacks if they can see you. So that's pretty cool. So it still disincentivizes them attacking your buds, but it doesn't incentivize them attacking you. And if they try to walk closer to you, it's going to take more. It's going to be harder for them to come closer to you. Yeah, I like that. That feels pretty sweet. Panic attack. Reaction after an enemy is crit or killed, you may cast Vicious Mockery. Oh, that's cool. I might just say so panic attack is an interesting name because it is an attack. I was going to say like maybe just call it panic. Um, maybe like incite panic. That'd be kind of cool. Let me cast Vicious Mockery. Okay, so haunting threat and panic attack sort of work together. That's quite interesting. I like that, Rayford. That is neat. Really cool. Um, I so it still does cost an action. So it's not going. So like it's going to make your off turn take longer, but it's going to make your turn will take less. And you're able to get more vicious mockeries off without disadvantage because it's not an opportunity attack and it's not like a second vicious mockery in the turn. So you're getting more of them. Yeah, that's kind of cool. After an enemy is crit or killed. What if there was something that could like you could do this like while the enemies are taking their turn? Um, like when an enemy misses or when all of the damage of an enemy's attack is defended or something like that. Rather than this, so currently panic attack is written so that it only happens during the hero's clump of turns. But if it was like when an enemy's attack misses, or when an enemy's attack is like completely negated, like a miss or defended against, you could probably say it that way. You can cast Vicious Mockery, like you can't hurt us, neither, like that kind of thing. So that like a lot of times the GM will like save the strongest monsters for last. Like they'll have like the weakest monsters and the strongest monsters. Like the weakest monsters will sort of set up, a thing, make them waste their defense, and then the big monsters come and like do. So like the weak monsters like attack. Uh, this guy's impervious. He can't be hit. And then the strong monsters like panic. Like that would be cool. So that because like it's until the end of the next turn, so like it's less time that the GM has to remember this also. So maybe that scare stiff once per encounter, cause every creature currently frightened by you to become incapacitated during the next turn. That is really cool. Probably way too good. Probably way too good. I would not do incapacitated. It's basically just skip your turn. Every creature frightened by you skips their next turn is basically what this says. Plus some bonus because like you'd get advantage against them. Probably too good. I like where you're going with that. Scared stiff. Yeah, it would have to be like at least it would have to be an action. And not just like a free thing that happens. So it would have to at least be an action. If you didn't intend on it on being an action. Maybe just one creature. I don't know. Maybe it's not too good. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. That's really interesting. I think about it. Maybe days. Something else. Incapacitated is not as bad for monsters as it is for heroes, since like Eyes of Jim have like multiple monsters. Um, sorry, my wife has texted me. I'd have to think about that one. That one definitely has the power to be like way too good. But if we are careful, then maybe that could be cool. Gruesome remark reaction. When an enemy attacks, you may expend. But I do like how Scared Stiff incentivizes you to use your two things together, to where you can like scare one or two people. So so like you can get more than one person. So typically you might only get one person incapacitated. It's only one turn. I don't know. I don't know. Gruesome remark reaction. When an enemy attacks, you may expend a use of Songweaver's inspiration. So maybe this could like spit. So this guy is like really incentivized to really not cast any leveled spells, any tiered spells, and like they're really not going to be using their mana much. So maybe this is like, hey, spend mana on to do this. Like maybe that could be something like the storm shifter. Storm Shifter. They like when you go like the way the one where you turn into animals, it has abilities like, hey, spend mana to make your animal things better. And the one that goes spellcaster, it has like, hey, spend some of your charges of beast shift to make your like spellcasting better. Like so that you still have both halves of your class, you know. Question mark reaction. When an enemy attacks, you may expend use of Songweaver's inspiration to reroll their damage, taking either result. If their target is frightened, their attack misses instead. I would add instead. That's pretty cool. I don't know if Gruesome Remark is a great name. Nerve-wracker, when you use Vishmakri, you can target a second creature within 12 spaces. I would say reach 12. So I'd say reach 12. When you use Vicious Mockery, target a second creature, dealing the same damage, frightening them. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'd have to think about the balance of this, but Rayford, yeah, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Very cool. I like it. Okay. Tools of the Soothsayer. Soothsayer. Cool. Hexodius. Responder. It says responder updated this value. Is this not the latest version? I don't know what that means. Soothsayer. Do I need to refresh? Soothsayer. So I don't know what responder updated this value means. Hopefully I'm looking at the latest one. You tell me if I am. Haven't updated in a few days? Okay, I don't know. Flavor. Invest in will and help others cheat. Oh, that's interesting. And by the way, I do like this this flavor here. I do like that flavor, just so I can like quickly, get to know. It's sort of like a movie trailer. Prophet or charlatan, get out of here. You decide influence the roles of those around you and sway the results in your favor. Be careful about that kind of thing. It has to be different than the Songweaver. Destiny is certain, but drop me a gold and usually nice. Okay, level 3, Foresight. Once per round, reaction when. So you don't need to say once per round if it's a reaction, because you can only use reactions once per round anyway. Each reaction once per round. Reaction when another creature rolls a primary die, you may change a primary die, roll one step toward the min or max, whichever is closer. When another creature's so when another creature attacks, whenever another creature attacks, you can change it up or down one. That's cool. We probably don't need to say changing to min counts as a miss, changing to a max. We probably don't need to say that, but it's not a bad clarification. So whenever another creature attacks, there should probably be like a range on this to incentivize like players being like to incentivize the tactics. Like if I could be way over here and like you're like a mile down the road, like it doesn't make sense why I'd be able to like do anything. with that. So reaction: whenever when another creature attacks, you can change it up or down one. I like that. So you can change a 2 into a miss, or you can change 5 into a 6. That's pretty cool. I really like that. You have advantage on insight checks during social encounters. Um, I don't think about that. I don't hate it. Just having that forever feels too good, and like all right, well, this guy's just always going to talk. Um, maybe like with certain kinds of people, or until something happens, or like on the first one, or something like that. Or rather than insight checks, it could be you have advantage on insight checks to uncover whether or not they're telling the truth, or to uncover something, like not just insight checks broadly. Like let's give it a lane to give it more flavor. So shrewd socializer. Um, like you can tell more easily if people are bending the truth or exaggerating. On detecting lies, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Fate breaker, and maybe more than just detecting lies, because other people like to be able to detect lies also. Maybe it's like you can tell if they're exaggerating, or something like that. Like they're trying to impress you, they're trying to deceive you. Like I don't know, like we can tweak it just a bit, but I like having a an out of combat thing. Level 7 Fate Breaker. While using Foresight, you may gain 1 wound to empower it. Okay. You may change the primary die to whatever you like. Ooh. So okay, so you're gaining a wound, so it is inherently limited. I do like that. Um, so it still takes an action or your reaction. You can only do it once per round. You can only do it so many times before you die. Change it to whatever you like. That is probably too good. Maybe you could change it like maybe you could change it like up to 3. Like 3 up or 3 down. Right. Fortune teller, like, or 2. Like 2 might be like plenty good. Um yeah, so with 2, uh so if you think about it mechanically, if you have a D4, so you can already make a creature that's rolling a D4 miss 50% of the time. With 2, you're making them miss 75% of the time. Or you can make an ally crit 75% of the time. With 3, so with 3, anybody rolling a D4, you can always guarantee they always crit, right? Um, or maybe we can. So if we're going to keep, so I'm just spitting out ideas. Okay, so we're basically saying like we're turning others into vicious opportunists, right? It's sort of what we're doing. You could change the value to whatever you want. But the requirement is that you have to hit, right? So maybe like you can't change a miss into this and this and this, or you can't change. So you can't, like, if your ally just completely missed. Sorry, I can't. Like I can only foresee so much. Like you missed by a mile, right? So like as long as you hit, I can goose it, right? Or with an enemy, like as long as they don't crit, right? So like crits and misses are sort of special things. So like as long as they don't crit, I can like, you know, bend it a little bit. So like they're rolling a d12 and they got 8. All right, so I can like scoot it down a bit, right? So they rolled a 4, I can make it miss. That feels better than like I roll a 12. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna change it to a 1. That seems like a little bit too wide of a band. So think about how it would mechanically work. I think it's cool that it has a bigger impact on like the smaller dice. But if like a Trask is rolling d20s and you can change it from a 20 to a 1, that probably doesn't. That probably is too good. It's too good, and like not as thematic either, because the cheat is sort of like they deal in like the small things, right? Um, yeah. So think about that. Think about that. Um, and if you like guaranteeing any ally to always crit, it's probably too good, even if it does cost a wound. All right, let's see. Fortune teller, 2x will times per safe rest. I double check it to see if that's how that kind of annotation is made, but I get what you're saying. When you roll initiative, you may assess. Uh, ask question for free. You succeed automatically. So I like the idea, but I'm afraid that this would. So 2 times will times per safe rest. I'd rephrase that. That's basically every combat is basically what it's going to be. If your will is like 2 or 3, like by level 7, you could easily have a will of 3 or 4 maybe. Um, so that's going to be like 6 to 8 times per safe rest. That's pretty much that's going to be every combat encounter. So every combat encounter you're assessing and you're sort of slowing things down a little bit, I think. Yeah. And then like so and if it's like specifically ask a question, like it's gonna slow it down even more, I think, because like what's a good question I can ask, you know? Um, and the GM is gonna have to have an answer to that question. Yeah, I like the idea. I'd tweak it a little bit. It's happening probably too frequently. Maybe just will times per safe rest is going to be plenty. Like twice per safe rest. So like you could do it on half of the combat encounters instead of all of the combat encounters. Level 11 Clairvoyant Schemer. You may pass any additional actions you gain to allies. Ooh. Will times per encounter once per round. Gain 1 action. Or Axis. Oh man. $10 super chat. You definitely don't have to do that, but I appreciate it. Are there any plans to expand out the magic system and spells? Yeah. There already is a Terramancy spell school in beta on the Patreon if you want to check that out. Or access if you want to shoot me a DM on Discord or send me an email, evan@nimblrpg.com. I'll just send it to you. I mean, you just pay me $10, like I'll send it to you for free if you want to check that out. Yeah, but there are plans to expand it. The Hexbinder, the Hexbinder has her own spells. The Scion class that I'm working on is going to have their own. It's not spells, but it's going to be spell-like things. It's going to be special abilities, a different system. So there are different things like that. I wouldn't hate having like one additional spell for each of the existing spell schools, or additional secret spells that maybe exist only as wands, or secret spells that if the GM wants to have additional spells, they can hand these out to their players. I wouldn't mind having like 1, maybe 2 additional spells for each of the 6 main spell schools. I think that would be kind of cool. But I definitely want to avoid the bloat. Like there has to be a reason, a purpose for the spell. Like if we're gonna add something to the fire spell school, it has to feel like, oh yeah, the fire spell school needed that spell. Like not just like, oh, it's better than this spell, so I'm gonna always use this one instead of that one, right? So like the existence of fireball, for instance, it's 5e in 5e, like means like no the 30 other like level 3 spells like basically don't matter because fireball. Right, so I want to avoid that. I want to avoid like the 600-700 spells of 5e. So I don't want that, but expanding the spell schools that are there slightly, I think could be cool. I hope that's what you're asking. Okay, Clairvoyant Schemer. If you pass additional actions, you gain 2 allies. Will times per encounter once per round. Gain 1 action. Can combo with underhanded abilities. So I don't know exactly how this works, but I love it. So this, you may pass additional actions to allies. I love that idea. That feels very cheaty, but I have no idea what all of this means and can combo with underhanded abilities. I have no idea what that means. So if we can get some clarity there, but I really like it. It seems like, oh, I would get an additional action, but you get an additional action. That feels super cool. Or like whenever you would gain additional action, you can also give that to an ally. Like rather than like me giving it to you, it's like we both get it. Like double accounting or something like that. Like that feels more cheaty. That would be more powerful. Like whenever you would gain an additional action, an ally also does. But it would have to be like maybe once per encounter, that kind of thing. Omen, once per round. reaction. Again, we just say reaction. When an ally crits, you may add your sneak attack to their roll. Okay, it does cost your reaction. That's cool. I like it. I like that. That's really, really neat. Okay. Hexodius. 10 out of 10. Love it. Love it. All right, so let's see. Let's go back. Two really good ones, you guys. Man, y'all are really knocking it out of the park. Pact of the Vampire Lord. Vampire. So there are 2 Pact of the Vampire Lords. Vinicius Farias. If you want to tell me, it's probably Vinny Conrado if I were to guess. So I'm going to read this one. If I have the wrong one, let me know. Yeah, Hexodius. Solid. Okay. I'm going to try to go quicker. You guys remind me if I start slowing down. We're we're averaging 15 minutes per. Shadowmancer. The hero's pact is with Vampire Lord, obviously. They're empowered, but not a vampire. Cool. Or are they? Okay. Way the Lord. I don't like Way the Lord as a name. That's not that great. Maybe it could be like Pact of the Blood Lord. So like you could like you broaden it out just a little bit. If you like when reading the name, if you can't help but like say it in a really cool voice, then like you got a cool name. But if it's like Vampire Apprentice, Way of the Lord, okay. Your patron grants you knowledge of wind spells. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Your shadow minions take the form of bats. Okay, yeah, bats, fly, wind. Okay, I kind of get the theming. Your Shadow Blast and minions can deal piercing or necrotic damage and inflict fear once per round whenever they would crit. Cool. It's definitely following the structure that we have already. Don't feel like you have to follow the structure exactly. Is the first advice that I would have, not just for the Shadowmancer, but for all of the subclasses. Like the Shadowmancer, like level 3, you get a new spell school. Your minions, take a new form, and they can deal this kind of damage, and they like do something when they would crit. That's fine, but don't feel like you have to follow that. Okay, so that is sort of like the obvious thing, but don't feel that you have to do that. You can, and it's probably going to be like it's going to be in line with the theme of the game, but you can feel free to like, if I was going to do something completely different, what would it be? And then like sort of think of that. Yeah, but that's cool. Like it's solid. Vampire Prince, you may cast Fly or Vampiric Greed without pilfering power, but you gain the poison condition until the end of your next turn. Ooh, that's cool. Choose one you do. Okay, that's cool. Vanish once per encounter. Reaction. I wouldn't say vanish. I would call it like blood mist form or whatever. Like whatever the. Let me see. Let me pull up the GM guide real quick. Give me 1 second, you guys. Whatever the ability that one guy has, I'd use that. GM guide spreads. Okay. Look at these bookmarks. Legendary monsters. All right, so whatever this guy, so he has mist form. Yeah, maybe mist form or something like that would be a little bit more on theme rather than vanish. Reaction: when attacked, disappear, or like call it bat swarm. Yeah, that's cool. Disappear in a swarm of bats and reappear up to your speed away. I would call it teleport or something. If you appear adjacent to a bloodied or frightened enemy, this ability recharges. Ooh, that's cool. So that is really cool thematically. Is it too good? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But that is quite cool. So we're taking advantage of the bloodied condition as well as frightened. That's super cool. So instead of reaction when attacked, I would say when you defend. Okay, so that you're using up your defend, and like if you're teleporting like 6 spaces away, like the attack's gonna miss, right? So it's the same kind of thing, but we're using, and yeah, get rid of vanish. Vanish isn't good. A cool idea. I'd have to think about the mechanics and if it's too good or not. Maybe instead of this ability recharging, you could do something to like that enemy, right? If you appear adjacent to a bloodied enemy, like frighten them for until the end of the like something like that maybe. Yeah. Why would this ability recharge? I don't know. Like it's that is a very powerful ability to just make any attack completely whiff. It was Bat Swarm earlier. Oh, Bat Swarm is way better. Avatar of the Master. Once per safe rest, become your patron's avatar for 1 round. Gain +2 max wounds until you safe rest. Okay, so I would just say, this would be the passive thing. So gain +2 safe wounds because like they regain. But gain +2 max wounds. That's just like a passive thing, just to clarify. And then once per safe rest, you can get this cool ability bite. I'll be very careful about adding new attacks at level 15 because Dex D12. So I don't know if that's way too good or like way too bad. But this new ability is going to be balanced against every other spell and ability that you have, right? So if it's once per safe rest, it has to be like way better, right? So Dex D12. Let's just see. So let's just say you have 5 decks, so 5d12. So how much damage is that going to be? That's going to average, like 30. Okay, so you can attack someone for like 33 damage once per safe rest at level 15. Okay, like that's not terrible, and I think it's ignoring armor. Reach 1, so you do have to be next to them. So 30 damage ignoring armor. That's pretty good. But could you do that? So you could do this. So you could like bite them 3 times. That doesn't feel super cool because like you'd bite them once. I mean, you bite them like once, good. Yeah. Undead resilience on your turn, gain up to int wounds to extend this form that many rounds. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. When the form ends, you are dying until you recover at least 1 wound. Weird. I think that's supposed to mean 1 hit point. Really cool. I'd be super careful about adding a new attack unless you know it's like super bomb, like really really cool. Undead resilience. Like so if yeah, I this is a cool idea, sort of like this is super super similar. It gives me the vibes of like dragon form, but we'd have to put like if we're gonna do this, we have to put in like enough thought and balance and spreadsheet it. Like if we're gonna do this, like we have to like actually make it balanced from like level 15 to level 20, right? So it's cool, but we really have to think about the flavor and the balance and all that sort of stuff. So I'd have to think about that one. Super duper cool ideas. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. Let's take a look at the next one. Hope that was helpful. Pact of the Vampire, Pact of the Ritualist. Find Ritualist by Professor Sloth. Hey, Professor Sloth. Why does that thing keep popping up? Flavor, this is a slightly darker take on the default Shadowmancer, leaning into ritual magic as seen in witchy 80s and 90s horror movies. Cool. I like the flavor. Circle of Power. Circle of Power. Once per counter action. You draw a ritual circle with 1 space radius around you. So I would say reach 1, since that's already a term. While you are inside the circle, you have advantage on your Shadow Blast. Okay. The circle also lets you cast Shadow Trap onto every space in the circle simultaneously. That's cool. I think Shadow Trap already does that. It's changed a lot since. Shadow Trap up to 1 next creature move adjacent to you. Yeah, so it already does that. So like basically all the spaces around you are trapped. So like whoever steps next to you, it gets triggers the trap, springs the trap. And last, that was done so that I don't have to. So like if like a hero's here and you have like 9 square or 6, 3, 6, 8. You have 8 squares next. There's 8 squares adjacent to you. You don't have to say like, okay, like this square was triggered, and then this square was triggered, and like this square down here was triggered. You don't have to keep track of like which of the 8 squares are triggered. It's like it's any of them. So if you mean like someone could step in all of the 8 and trigger 8 different times, that's probably too much tracking. Shadow rights. Learn a shadow right. What is a shadow right? Okay, and then there's a bunch of shadow rights. Okay, so if this is it, I'd be careful about having like a bunch of different things that you can pick from, because you're already picking the Shadowmancer, you're already picking the invocations, and you're already like picking this subclass. So like having a whole nother thing with another list to pick, I'd be very, very careful about that kind of thing. It's just a little bit too much. Like a story-based subclass could do something like that, but like you're picking something amongst a list of things that already exist, like the spell blade, for instance. Like you can pick. Like you can pick amongst these things, but like these are already abilities that you have. They're just a little bit better. Or you can pick amongst spells, but it's like spells that already exist, right? But like having like a whole new system or whole new thing, like it's almost like now a new class, right? So there might be too much going on here, not having read them yet. So we almost have like a whole full new class. Curse of Shadow, and that's at level 3 also. So yeah, that might be a little bit much. Course of Shadow, 2 actions, once per counter concentration. Your minions. Okay, so you can concentrate, and your minions deal extra int damage. That could be cool. It might not be good enough. So if your int is like 3, like they're dealing 3 extra damage, and then like your shadow minion just gets like killed, and then like now I have to spend more actions to do this. So we'd have to balance that. So this is making them less expendable. So this is what we're doing. Shadow rights. Learn another shadow right. Okay. Blood pact. Sacrifice hit dice equivalent to your spell tier. You regain 1 use of pilfered power. Allies can willingly contribute their hit dice. Oh, that's interesting. I like the flavor of that. It's a little bit darker than I would probably go, like calling Blood Pact. Maybe not. So like this was fine. Like this wasn't too dark, but allies can willingly contribute their hit dice. Like that's feeling a little bit dark, a little bit more Murkborg. I would phrase this. You can expend hit dice as mana. Is basically what we're doing. Don't mind if I do. I don't mind if I do. Sacrifice a creature in a ritual of blood. You gain hit dice. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. Yeah, like what exactly this means, I'm not sure. And hit dice are meant to be like something that you don't really regain until you actually do safe rest. Circle of Grand Devouring, 3 actions, concentration once. What minute? Describe a huge circle, reach 12. As long as you maintain it, 1 action per turn. At the end of your turn, you and all enemies inside the circle take int D10 necrotic damage. Enemies that die inside. So this is super duper cool. So Professor Sloth, really cool ideas. I think there's just way too much going on. And I haven't even read the Shadow Rights. So like Shadowmancer already gets a bunch of spells and minions to keep track of, and now we have all these abilities and like all these other things. Like this has a lot going on. It really has a lot going on. So like if we were going to do something like this, I would say like, okay, this like the circle of devouring, like this is the thing that I do, and like this whole subclass is all about this one thing, right? You make a big circle. Whenever an enemy dies, you get a new shadow minion. And then like now you could do new cool things, and like your minions can like move extra far. We're in their circle, and the circle starts off like this big, and as you level up it gets bigger, and like at level 15 when the thing dies, you gives you summon 2 shadow minions, like that kind of thing. Like the whole subclass could be around just this one ability, but like we have like a bunch of different abilities, and like there's just like way too much going on. This is almost like 3 or 4 different subclasses. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. Very cool ideas. Too much though. Oath of the Contest. Oath of the Contest isn't great. Oath of the Contest is not a great name. I would come up with a cooler name. The wicked pursue power at any cost. To uphold the good, I must be the best. Maybe like Oath of the Contender is like a little bit better, but not great. Aura of Challenge. Aura of Challenge. Gain Aura of Reach 4. Your Radiant Judgment also triggers when an enemy uses their movement to enter your aura while you have no judgment. Ooh, that's cool. That is cool. When an enemy enters your aura while you have no judgment dice. Yeah. That's cool. Aura of Challenge. Like they're coming to challenge you. That's neat. Maybe this guy could do something with taunting also. It might be too good, but like, so if the GM, so imagine, put your GM hat on. If the GM is being punished for making enemies walk into your aura, so rather than when an enemy uses their movement to enter your aura. It's like I want to protect against. So this is for all classes, so you guys can use this sort of thinking, this advice for everything. I want to protect against the cases where the GM doesn't want to play along. Like the GM should play along. That's like one of the first GM rules. But like they get their cool thing when when like the monster enters your aura. Like what if they just like they just always attack other people and like you are always the one chasing the monsters, right? So what can we do about that? My thinking is the aura will generate more judgment dice than average, so I used expended judgment die cost as a way to balance it. Okay, but I think that was fine. Rise to the challenge. You may expend a judgment die to make a reaction for free. No, not make a reaction for free. Definitely not that. But maybe you can expend a judgment die to taunt an enemy, like face me, like that kind of thing. That would be cool, but not doing things for free. No. That will start to very much bog the game down. So now that actually fixes the problem of like, oh, I as a GM don't want to attack this guy because I don't want to move the enemies near this guy because then he gets to do cool things. But now if I have taunted this guy, now as a GM, like, well, I'm going to get disadvantage on all of my attacks unless I attack this guy. All right, well, I'm going to attack this guy. That kind of thing, like where they're sort of working together, like feels really good. Definitely don't do making reactions for free for something that kind of easy to do. Are my take on interpose expanded critting mechanics? Okay, a coward's aim is never true. Not bad, not bad. When you or an ally in your aura is attacked at range, you may expend a judgment die. Ranged attacks against ranged attacks against you and allies within your aura. I would do what you can to avoid saying that twice. Once per round, ranged. Once per round. Okay. Once per round, make a ranged attack against you. Make a ranged attack targeting a creature in your aura. Roll with disadvantage. Something like that. Yeah. I like that. Like you range attacks, you're calling a ranged attacker a coward. I like the theme of that. We could probably come up with something better, but I like you're saying coward. Like face me. That kind of thing. Cut to the chase. Not a great name. Move up to your speed and make a melee attack. Because 2 actions. Okay. Any enemies within your aura or entering your aura as you move take key damage, ignoring armor. Okay. I didn't like the ability until I read your designer's notes. Okay. Where did it go? Clearing a path to the real challenger. So this could be a cool way to just like mow down a bunch of minions, which would feel cool. What I didn't like is that like if you're moving past like 3 or 4 enemies, like that's going to be a lot of bookkeeping for it could be bookkeeping for the GM. It wouldn't necessarily, since you don't have to roll for anything. it'd be like, yeah, here, take 4 damage. Like all of these 3 guys take 4 damage. It's not that bad. And it's once per counter. Move up to your speed. Okay, so this is probably not good enough. Cut to the chase. Probably not good enough. So what if this was like move up to like 12 spaces? Move like you just move super far, or like move adjacent to the furthest away ally that you have, or something like that, to where like you're moving to like help someone, or you're moving like you're chasing down the fleeing the coward or whatever, something like that. So like for 2 actions, you could just move and make a melee attack. So like once per encounter, all you're just doing like 4 damage to like 3 creatures. Like that's probably not good enough for a level 11 thing. I like the idea. I like the idea of giving like the mobility and stuff, but it could be cooler. Turn the tide. Whenever an enemy in your aura becomes bloodied, they become frightened until the end of their next turn. Allies in your aura can make 1 free opportunity. No, not that. Definitely not. Action. Once per encounter, you can end all negative conditions that restrict movement. Okay, that's cool. I like that. Turn the tide. So that's cool. That last one is sweet. Encourages people to be close to you. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Oath of Contest. Yeah, cooler names. Streamline it a little bit. Think of the flavor. One of these, perhaps Muscle Mage. All right, Centuric. I already love Muscle Mage. I'm pretty sure that one's just gonna make it. So just consider Muscle Mage as as being one of the winners, Centuric. I was hoping you were going to submit that one. If I'm being honest. Coven of Fates. Let's do Herald of Groans, since not everybody has access to the Hexbinder. Herald of Groans. Centuric. Focus on debuffing enemies with a theme of bad puns and groan-inducing jokes. Bonus points if you tell bad jokes in character. Okay, so this one might be too silly, but it might not be. Punishment. So it's going to be fun. So I want to avoid things that are like fun, like once, And so I don't want it to get annoying in real life at the table, right? So like this kind of thing might be cool for a one shot, right? Maybe this could be like a secret subclass, one shots only. Like I'm warning you, like that kind of thing. Like you can have like above the table, like kind of fun silliness for like Gonzo dungeons or one shots, special like Halloween events, like that kind of thing. Maybe it could be that. But that is a big concern that I have for this kind of thing. It would get old. Like everybody else is like, I'm playing Batman, and like my parents were killed, and like like the GM could be trying to play like an actual like serious thing, and like you have like Goober McDoofus over here, like I'm playing the pun bard. So I want to be careful about that, because I have some friends who would pick this in a heartbeat and ruin the fun for everybody else. We want to be careful that the toys that I get don't ruin someone else's fun. but I love it. Oh man, that is so funny. That is so funny. And your brother was hamster. Punishment. Spend a song moves inspiration to unsettle an enemy with a terrible pun on their next turn. Their attacks gain disadvantage and cannot crit. Okay. Misunderstood comedian. Jokes considered terrible by most people, except for goblins and other people here. Level 7. What's the deal with? Oh man. Once per counter action, impose worldly insight upon an enemy within earshot. They become dazed and must make a will save. Unfailed. All right, so once per encounter, will save, or you can stun a dude. That's quite good. Yeah, I'll be here all week. When you punish an enemy, they also suffer a bunch of damage. Oh man. Top ground. All enemies within earshot suffer effects of punishment. Let's him to attack you. Ignores this. All right. 12 out of 10. 12 out of 10 satiric. Yeah, 12 out of 10. I think that this would have to be in like a jokes only section though. Like the mopping the floor adventure, like not part of a regular campaign. Like this is just a silly thing that we do once, you know. I love it though. I love everything about it. This is Centurix. 11 out of 10. 12 out of 10. Whatever I said initially. The mechanic, artificer. All right. Mechanic. The mechanic story-based subclass. Is this it? Oh, I already looked at one of yours, FL4G. Let me see if I can grab someone else's. Path of the Colossus Berserker. Ooh, I like both of those. Path of the Colossus. Path of the Colossus. That sounds cool. Enlarging Wrath. I don't like Enlarging Wrath. Enlarging Wrath. Enlarging doesn't sound isn't as cool. While raging, you grow one size category. Gain advantage on saves against hampering effects. Okay. Hulking Stride. Whenever you move, you may expend one or more Fury dice. Each die spent, you can power through one obstacle or hazard up to your size. You gain resistance against any damage while moving this way. Cool. It is probably not good enough for. Probably not good enough. It's like cool thematic things, but like, what do I get? Moving through obstacles or hazards. Like you may play an entire campaign and never have an obstacle or hazard up to your size that you could gain resistance. Like it may never do anything. And also, I don't want to punish like a goblin who's a berserker who wants to play Path of the Colossus. Like going from small to medium, like isn't as good as going from like medium to large. So I don't want to punish people's other choices. So can we rethink it to like while raging, you're considered large. I don't know. And then something against smaller creatures. John's Hurl. Expend a Fear die to fling a grappled creature a number of spaces up to the expended die's result. This counts as forced movement. Alternatively, grab and throw an adjacent ally for the same amount. They immediately make a melee attack for free. Okay, so a couple of things I'm thinking about this. Expend a Fury die to fling a grappled creature a number of spaces up to the expended die's result. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's go to the heroes and look at the Berserker. So the Berserker starts with D4s, and it goes up to what? Free dice are D8s. It goes up to so up to 12. Okay, so it can go up to 12. Fling a grappled creature up to 12 spaces. Yeah, you don't need to say it counts as force movement. Yeah. Alternatively, grab. Okay, so what is immediately the optimizer going to do? It's going to be, I'm going to throw them up in the air, so I'm going to throw them up 12 spaces. So it's going to be 6d6 damage. So you're expending 6d6. You're expending 1d12 to deal 20 damage to throw them, and then presumably they would land prone or whatever. That's pretty good. I don't know. Alternatively, grab and throw an ally. It's like grappling. Grappling doesn't really strike me as a like particularly berserkery thing to do. Do they have any abilities that grapple? You guys tell me. Do berserkers have any abilities that grapple? Embiggening Fury. So that's not really a grappling type of class. If instead it was like, when you hit an enemy, send them sailing. Like, so if we connect it with the previous ability, send an enemy like in probably I would say I would just include this with the level 3 thing. When you hit an enemy smaller than you, okay, so this guy's wanting to pick on things that are like medium or small. You can send them flying away and deal some amount of damage. Like something like that would be cool. Grabbing and throwing an adjacent ally is cool. And instead of them making a melee attack for free, it could just be the enemy takes damage equal to their armor, or the enemy takes damage equal to like 2 times the result of the fury die or whatever, like something like that, rather than needing to roll another die and make it another attack, and then like whatever abilities that ally has when they attack or when they roll a die, then that'll trigger, and like then other things will happen. So let's avoid that. Let's just have one thing happen. Like we already have the fury die and whatever number it is. Let's just use that. Like let's hook onto that thing that already exists. Okay, so you get big, you can smack dudes around, terrifying roar, free reaction. When you become bloody for the first time each encounter, I'd be careful about free reactions just because we're bloating the action economy. Make it so cool that you'd want to spend an action on, is what I would say, rather than like, oh, it's just this like little efficient thing that, this and this and this. Rage automatically. When bloodied for the first time each encounter, rage automatically. All enemies within reach, within strength reach, okay, take level psychic damage, and those smaller than you are frightened until the end of your next turn. All of that's cool. We could streamline it a little bit. Yeah, I'd have to think about the balance, but thematically, we're doing a lot of cool things. And I would just say until the end of their next turn instead of the end of your next turn. For legendary monsters. Maximal Fury. Action at max number of Fury dice. Until you run out of Fury dice. Until you run out of Fury dice. Grow 1 additional size category. Become immune to force movement and ignore difficult terrain. In addition, a force movement damage you causes D12s instead of D6s. All of that's kind of cool. I don't like maximal fury and action at the maximum of fury dice. I don't love all of that. This should just be something you can just turn on. Boom. Like I just turn this on like once per encounter, once per safe rest, whatever, like depending on how cool it is. You grow 1 additional size category. I would just say you are considered huge. And then yeah, like so, and then like yeah, so this guy's like they're so big they're just like flinging things around. So Giant's Hurl, if we just say if for Giant's Hurl or whatever the thing that we use, whenever you attack a creature that's smaller than you, so like now like they can hurl around large creatures. Yeah, that's cool. Pretty cool. Needs a little bit of fine tuning. Some things are not good enough. Some might be too good. Very cool ideas, Kazagulius. Very cool ideas. Yeah. If you throw a creature 12 spaces up, do they not immediately land on you and deal the same fall damage to you? You can just throw them up and like make them land next to you. Like, yeah, you could do that, but yeah. Optimizer. You gotta take the good with the bad if you're an optimizer. That is true. Okay, cool ideas. Uh-oh, the thing jumped. There was a love Oathsworn. Oath of Love, a kind of Prince Charming. Okay. I don't love Oath of Love as a name, but like someone wanting to play the Prince Charming might be cool. Aura of Love, gain an aura with the reach for it. Your land hands gains the reach of your aura. Advantage on influence checks. I don't like just advantage on influence checks forever. But like narrow it down on people people who X, Y, and Z. That kind of thing. Initiative, your ally can add your will to their roll. All allies? Forever? Everybody gets plus 5 to their initiative roll. That's probably too good and a little bit boring. Maybe one ally, I don't know. You will pay with your life on crit. That doesn't sound very loving. On crit with, where is it? You crit on 1 less against enemies that inflicted damage on an ally during their previous turn. I wouldn't do that. So the Oathsworn is incentivized to use the biggest die size weapon they can, because their judgment dice, they're expended whether you hit or miss. So they really don't want to miss. So they really don't care about critting very much. So I wouldn't do anything with crits, because the subclass is incentivizing you to use like a D4 where you're critting 50% of the time. But your judgment dice really want you to use D12s, right? So I don't like that. Those are sort of opposed to each other thematically. Could we do something else that's more Oathsworny, right? How dare you? If an enemy crits you, he cannot attack you their next turn out of remorse. I leave off the out of remorse thing, because like you don't know, like maybe they're fighting a fiend, and like the fiend like is remorseless, you know. If an enemy crits you, he cannot attack you the rest their next turn. So that's something to track. That's something that the GM has to track. I'm not sure. Maybe just like when an enemy would crit an ally, they become dazed. Something I don't know. Follow my steed. When you crit, all allies within your aura gain advantage on attack rolls their next turn. All allies when you crit. I wouldn't do things with critting with the Oathsworn unless you yeah, because it's fighting against their judgment dice mechanic. I'll give you my life. My life for yours, like something like my life for yours is more. If you fall to 0 hit points, every ally gains a free interpose each turn. I don't love that thematically. The Oathsworn is doing the opposite. So it would be while dying, adjacent allies can interpose for free. Can interpose for you for free. I don't like that. You know, you're supposed to be protecting others, they're not supposed to be protecting you. Maybe like while dying, you can interpose, you know, some other way. Like while dying, like you become like you become more of a protector while dying, not like, oh, I'm dying, I need protection. Like that's sort of the opposite vibes. Chaste embrace, physical contact. You can give wounds back to an ally by expending an equal number of yours. You can also cure any condition except bloodied and other damage status. I'm not sure what that means. I like the idea of like the Oathsworn taking wounds and stuff. Maybe I don't know. I'd cook on this one a little bit longer. Cook on that one a little bit longer. Okay. Master of None. Skill-based subclass. What? A skill-based subclass for any class? What? Versatility? I've never even considered that, the Pebble. That is how cool. I mean, the idea is cool. Versatility is just intelligence having fun. Don't love that name. Too many. Oh, that's just flavor. Okay. Too many hobbies. Every skill is now capped at 6 points. Okay. You have advantage on the skill check to use assess. You have advantage on assess checks. Okay. All-rounder. I don't know. I don't know if this is good enough to require a drawback. All-rounder, you can now add 1 skill to related combat rolls as follows. Arcana to examination healing spells. Oh, I see. Okay. So you can add, 6 to all your healing spells, or 6. So you can add 6 to like all these different things basically is what this subclass is. So this subclass sort of turns on at level 7. I don't love that. Naturecraft to create an opening. This is a really cool idea. I think there's probably both too much to track and it starts a little bit too late for my tastes. Maybe like you can add up to 3 here, and then here you can add up to 6 if you know if your skill is that, like that kind of thing. But like knowing and keeping track of all of these different things is too much. I might just do like 4, like 1 for each stat. Or like pick a favored stat, pick a favored skill at level 3. You can add that skill to like this one thing. So like I don't have to remember all 10 of these things. I'll just remember 1, maybe 2 things, you know. So we need to be careful not to have our character sheets look like tax forms, right? So there's a lot going on here. Super duper cool ideas needs to be very much refined. Knowledge is power. Skills can now go beyond 6 points by the amount of the related key stat. I would just say, you know, you can have your skills can be +8 or something, just to keep it simple. Right hand pal, you can use the help reaction. Okay, when you help an ally, you can instead of advantage, they can just gain your skill bonus. That's cool. The wise win before the fight. On initiative, you can give each of your allies the use of one of your all-rounder options. Yeah, so too much going on, too much to track. It's a very cool raw idea. Definitely needs to be thought out. All of the possible implications. This is almost like multi-classing with a subclass. And then needing to compare all of the things that this could possibly do with every ability that every other class has would like make my head break. So this is sort of like where the like don't worry about building or balancing classes, subclasses with multi-classing in mind. This is an exponentially complicated subclass. So I would never have something like that as just a base option, because it is almost guaranteed to have something completely busted. But as an optional thing that a GM could introduce as something like maybe, but having this as a player facing thing, it's going to very quickly become unfun. I think the way it is going, but super cool idea to have like a subclass that any class could pick. Yeah, that's breaking my brain. That's breaking my brain. Cool ideas, like so cool, man. Wow. How cool. I ask for my way of the ethereal force. Ethereal. Denny, sure. Ethereal. Way of the leaf. Way of the ethereal force. You've awakened the spiritual force that resides deep within yourself. Get here. Energy, but you to formidable companion exchange. Okay, so the pet Zephyr. Okay. Summon ethereal spirit was print free action. Ooh, I'd be very careful about free actions. You may suffer max strength wounds, min 1. You may ignore unyielding resolve to summon your ethereal spirit. What does unyielding resolve do? Okay, so there's a lot going on. It feels like I'm reading a riddle. Unyielding resolve, ignore the first. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm reading a riddle. Okay, so you take some punishment, take some sort of punishment to summon a pet. Okay, what does a pet do? It occupies your space and cannot be harmed. Your attacks have reach 2, and when you hit a target, you inflict 2x wounds, radiant damage ignoring armor. It disappears if you are dying. You dismiss it as a free action or at the end of the encounter. Through a pet, you can picture an appearance how you like. Okay. That's how to commit your through period. So it gets dismissed at the end of an encounter, but then you can use it outside of combat. Does not require wounds to be summoned. Choose your stat skill. Okay. There's way too much going on here. What does the pet even do? Okay, so it gives you reach. 2. Get a target. So it gives you reach 2 and a little bit extra damage. So if we were to keep it, so I would reflavor this completely. I would reflavor this completely away from being a pet. It's just too much like the shepherd's spiritual companion. It's not a summoning thing. It's like I would think of it more like you're going Super Saiyan. Like you could turn on this Super Saiyan mode. You take some wounds, turn on Super Saiyan mode. When you have Super Saiyan mode on, you can punch harder and further, like something like that. Just really streamline it. Like we're doing too much here. Special parry when while in Super Saiyan mode. I'm just using that as an example. When you slipstream, the attacker takes extra radiant damage, and on failed will save is frightened. Don't make an attacker make a will save. Slipstream. Let's see, what does slipstream do? Defend and the attack misses. Okay. Yeah, so I would not make them attack you, and then we have to figure out how much damage they're taking, and then they have to make a strength save. And then they're frightened. Spirit protector reaction. Before you would take enough damage to be dying, you may dismiss your ethereal spirit to expend max wounds, hit dice to heal yourself by the maximum value. Okay. Whenever you would gain the dying condition, you can end Super Saiyan mode to and spend some hit dice and heal yourself. Set your hit points to that much instead. Simplify this a lot. Okay, Super Saiyan, you can hit 2 things. Ethereal Resilience, you can survive 1 additional wound before death. So just plus 1 max wound. Astral Domain, once for safe rest while in this mode. I wouldn't say this is something you're summoning. You may take extra wounds. Yeah, no. We can't have someone taking 3 turns while everybody else is just taking 1 turn. I would rethink that. Whenever you would roll a die, roll a d20 instead. Like do something cool. Like rather than more of the same thing, do fewer of cooler things. It's both cooler and takes less time, right? So rather than like the 5e says, "Oh, fighter, you know how making an attack is kind of cool? What if you could attack 17 times? You could do this kind of cool thing and make everybody wait forever for this kind of cool thing." But what if it was hey, fighter, instead of attacking 17 times, what if you could do one totally rad thing that you're going to remember till you're a great-great-grandpa? That's way better, right? So think this way rather than that way. Think vertically rather than laterally with cool things like that. Cool ideas, too much going on, a little bit confusing. Denny, there we go. Path of the Crushing Earth. Berserker, wrestle bears, pile drive bandits. Yeah! Bash goblin chieflins with their own lackeys. That's what I'm talking about. Berserker aims to pick a target, grab a hold of them, and never let go while pummeling them down with their own hands. Okay, cool. Okay, so Crushing Earth does not... So, the name was cool. The vibes are cool, but they're 2 different things. Pummeling them down. So there's a little bit of discontinuity. It wouldn't take much to fix that, but pile driving bandits, wrestling bears, yeah. Okay. Traditional technique. Once per turn while raging, if you begin your turn grappling hostile creature with no weapon script. Okay. I don't know that the Berserker fits with a weaponless thing. Maybe they do. Maybe it could work. So I would do something like this. If we're doing a grappling dude, use treat a small grappled creature as a D8 weapon. treat a medium grappled creature as a D12 weapon. That kind of thing. Like, so you still have, like, you're still rolling the D12s, you're still rolling your weapons, like, it's not, maybe not that exactly, but like that kind of thing, so that we're not completely breaking the balance, like the damage of the game. Like, the Berserker, his damage curve expects to be using weapons, right? Gain 1 Fury die, okay. So I can't tell immediately if this is like way overpowered or like way underpowered or what. So like, I just don't know. Like, so this would have to be like a big calculation for me to figure out if it's balanced at the low levels, if it's too good at the high levels, you know? So not to say it's not possible, but if we have something more straightforward, more clearly, so sort of like this. So let's say, can you guys see this? Yeah, you can see this. Okay, so like if I had attack like 2d4, let's say like 5d4 plus 4. So is that better, or is like 1d8 plus 7? Like those two things are like, so like, I don't know if one is better or one is worse, right? So like, but if we have like 1d4 plus 5 or 1d4 plus 20, like one is clearly better than the other, right? So if I'm a berserker, I'm a level 2 berserker, we just leveled up to level 3, like, all right, look at all these different subclasses. Ooh, this one lets me do this cool thing. I know roughly how good it is. This one lets me do this. Oh, that's pretty cool. Then this one lets me, if I don't have a weapon, I'm grappling a creature, then I can gain 1 additional Fury die. I have no idea how cool that is or not, right? So whenever you can, have it clear how cool a thing is, right? So I have no idea how cool this thing is. But if I say, whenever you're grappling a small creature, you can use it as a D8 weapon. I know exactly how cool that is. Like, oh, it's about as good as my axe, but feels much more fun, right? Um, or like, whenever you're grappling a creature, you can attack with it as if it were a weapon. It takes the same damage that the enemy takes. Like, oh, that's so cool, right? Like that makes me like freak out with how cool that is. But mechanically, all it is like whenever you attack a creature, you can select a second target within range, right? So that's all it is mechanically. So I know exactly how good it is mechanically, and we can limit it or increase it or nerf it or whatever, because we know exactly how cool it is mechanically. But if it's like 5d4 plus 7 or 2d8 plus 10, like, I don't know. I don't know which is better. Like, are they the same? Like, maybe one is way better, one is worse. So this subclass has the ability to be so cool. What was it called again? I forgot what. Where is it? I lost it. Path of the Earthbreaker. It was an Earthbreaker. What was it? I lost it. Crushing Earth. Okay, so the flavor of this is 10 out of 10. You crank it up to 11, right? Bashing goblin chieftains with their own lackeys, pile driving bandits, like, yeah. And then we have traditional technique. Like, the name of the first ability is traditional technique. You are my weapon, or something like that. Like, have something cool, right? Stop hitting yourself. I don't know, like, have some cool, like, crazy thing. Like, have the name of it pile drive, right? Flawless form. You can now apply grapple condition to a creature one size larger than you. That's cool. Just so you have more things. And rather than that, because like just thematically, it may not make sense. I would say while raging, because that's important. This is sort of like the magiciness of the berserker. While raging, you can grapple large creatures or creatures up to large, or creatures up to medium. So like if you're small or tiny, like you can just do this because like magic. Okay. You know, apply the grapple condition to a creature one size larger than you. So that depends. Like that could punish the earlier choices a hero made, which we don't want to do. Like, oh, this subclass is only good for like, you know, medium-sized creatures or heroes. Plus form. Attacks made by unarmed strikes deal. No, so rather than unarmed strikes, you're not unarmed. You're armed with them, right? So like you have your axe or whatever, but you would rather spin an action grappling the guy and using them as a weapon because now you're damaging 2 dudes at a time, right? And then when the creature dies, you can continue to use them as a weapon, right? Or you could like let them go and grapple another one, and now you're swinging them around and attacking with your attack, yeah, like that kind of thing. So like you have a cool choice to make, but it's still like the damage. You're not unarmed. That's kind of lame. Like you're armed with the goblin, you know. Um, Titan's Grasp. While raging, a grapple creature is smaller than you can be used as an improvised weapon. No, this is like the first feature. This is the first thing. This is the main point of this thing. Don't make me wait till level 7. Let me attack with a goblin right away, right? This is why I picked this creature. So this is 100% this thing. Front load the fun. You can attack with goblins. Right? Does that make sense? Like, this is the cool thing. In level 7, you get better at it, right? Level 11, you get better at it. Level 7 or level 11, you can attack with, you can attack with a bugbear now. You can attack with a bigger creature and it deals more damage. But let me do the cool thing right away. So, like, maybe it's in certain encounters, there's not a small creature. All right, you attack with your weapon instead. You can grapple. You could do other cool things, but like, make it fun right away. Okay, I hope that never bring a sword to a goblin fight. That's not a knife. This is a knife. It's a goblin holding a knife. Oh man! All right, guys, let's keep going. I'm loving this. All right, Berserker. Improvised weapon. Yeah, we could streamline all of that a lot. Backbreaker. Whenever you crit an enemy grappled by you, you double the damage added from your fury dice. You probably don't need that because you're already damaging the guy that you're holding as well as the. I don't know. I'd have to math that one out. That one is unclear how good it is. Unyielding fortitude, gain resistance against attacks made by a creature you're grappling. Oh yeah, you. I completely forgot that the creature you're grappling is like still trying to fight you. The creature you're grappling is still trying to fight you. Yeah, that's cool. So like a little bit more survivability. Like it's fine. We could probably do something cooler. Okay, so as written, not that like it needs some work, but the potential of this one, whoever made this, Mike G, the potential of this one is off the charts. The potential for this one is like, well, this is clear. Like I clearly like I wasn't even gonna play Berserker, but now that I saw this subclass, like I am legally obligated to play the Berserker just so I can play this subclass. Like the potential for this one is like so good. And that's what you want in a subclass, right? Hi, I'm Knife, the goblin says cheerily. He's wearing a helmet. How cool. And you could quadruple wield. You have a goblin in each hand, and they're both dual wielding. So you're like quadruple wielding. Yeah. Mike, super cool potential. Something I never thought of. That's why I love doing these kinds of design jams. I hope you cook on this one a little bit. This one definitely has potential to be a big winner. And don't just do whatever I said. Like you cook on it. Okay. Awesome. Cool. I wasn't gonna go this long, but I'm gonna keep going because like this is a lot of fun. Commander of the Shadow Legion reworked. I'll look at this one quickly. but if I've already looked at it before, I don't want to spend too much time on it. Your shadows ethereal and invulnerable. They do not act on their own and can only be removed by being dispelled to trigger abilities. Okay, so this is a really cool idea. I really like this idea. So for the Shadowmancer, who wants to have an army, and he doesn't, like, maybe he has a GM who's like always attacking his shadow minions, and like, I can never do cool things with my minions. Like, now they're invulnerable. You just can't attack them. Okay, that's a cool idea. It's a really cool idea. There better be a drawback, but that is a cool idea. Level 3, Shadow. Strike once per turn. You can make a melee attack from an ally's space as if you were there. Oh. Oh, there's a commander. What? I thought this was a Shadowmancer. What? Okay. If someone wants to make a Shadowmancer subclass, sorry, where your shadows are invulnerable to damage, or much more survivable, so you can like build up a horde of them, I'd like to see a take on that. Sorry, I didn't know this was a commander. You can make a melee attack from an ally space as if you were there. Okay, that's cool. This attack deals an extra damage. Deals extra damage equal to a roll every combat. So this requires a combat die. Okay. That's kind of cool. So you have like a little bit more mobility. Choose an ally you can see. Summon 4 shadows in spaces adjacent to them. When that ally defends, they may dispel any number of these shadows to gain. Okay, so how about this? Rather than summoning shadows, if you like the whole summoning shadows take or whatever, like, more power to you. But that guy from Naruto that controls shadows. Okay, Shikamaru. Okay, so what if level 3 you can attack and grapple? You can attack, grapple, and help from as if you were adjacent, as if you were in the space of any ally. Like, you can treat yourself as if, like, you can attack from their shadows. You can grapple. You can do this. Grappling this way doesn't use up your hands. Like, you're grappling with the shadows, like that kind of thing. Like, you're doing that. Like, that's a cool thing. You can attack from them, and like, if you can roll a combat, like you do other, like you could tweak it or whatever, make it cool. You change it up. Okay, so you can manipulate other people's shadows. And in level 7, when you when you're adjacent to an ally, like when your shadow and their shadow are touching, like you get some cool thing, or like when you attack from an ally shadow, like, so this guy only wants to attack from like his allies, maybe, I don't know. Like that's his thing. Like he always attacks better that way, or I'm not sure. I think summoning shadows in spaces adjacent to your allies and this and that, I think that's not what we want to be doing, probably. If you want to keep this sort of vibe, like maybe like select one ally to hold your shadow, or like your shadow can follow one ally. You can attack from where they are. You can grapple from where they are. They are like extra defended. Like they gain, like whoever you select to have your shadow is like extra defended or whatever. They get extra armor. So, but like just one, like not 4, right? So that this is more of like a protective thing, or like so you can like protect the weak the mage. So like when a bad guy runs up to the mage to smack them, like they have extra armor, and then like you can attack from there without having to run all the way over there. Like that's cool utility. I really like that. So like you can detach your shadow from yourself, and it can just follow someone else. That is a sweet idea, right? But summoning a bunch of shadows and like it's going to get a little bit fiddly. Choose an enemy within 8. Dispel one of your shadows to teleport to its space for free. That's cool. So like, yeah, whoever, like, action, you can touch an ally and give them your shadow or something. I don't know. No, maybe not teleport. Like you could just select an ally. Like this could just be a passive thing, select an ally until you safe rest. They have your shadow. Like when you walk around, you have no shadow, right? But your ally has like an extra dark shadow or something. I don't know. Like you could flavor it to be super duper cool, and like you can just always attack through them and do things through them, and protect them. Or like if your shadow is like a Zephyr, and he's always zipping around the battlefield, and like he always has backup there. That kind of thing. Yeah, I think probably you couldn't interpose with a shadow that way, right? Because it's like insubstantial. That's more of an Oathsworn thing, but like you can attack from there. You can give them buffs and things. Choose an enemy within 8 spaces on a failed will save. A path of shadow connects you. Something. I don't know. What if it was like? What if it lies like whenever the person who has your shadow is attacked, you can pull them closer to you. Like you can do things with this guy who has your shadow. um, I just had a cool idea. Like whenever you use coordinated strike with the person who has your shadow, X, Y, and Z, right? So like this is your buddy, this is your partner. Like you guys are like Wonder Twins. You're like you have your secret handshake. Like you help that guy, and like he is the focus of your like all your stuff. Like he is or she is so precious to you or whatever that like you follow them wherever they go, like that kind of thing, right? You're their big brother, you're the protector, or well, maybe like you shadow, like you pick different people depending on the day to like have to have the vibes, like whoever is the most damaged, like just you can give your shadow, like that kind of thing is super cool. I love that idea. If you want to, like, I would definitely rework this. When you coordinate strike, you and your chosen ally each summon an adjacent shadow. Yeah. When after attack is made this way, hits target is shadow spell. Yeah. So let's stick to the theme. Shadows don't explode. I don't know. I like the underlying theme. Let's focus it more. Let's pull in things that the commander can already do. He can do it better, and fill in some of these things. I don't know. I don't know if that's helpful. I'm sort of rambling. I think some of those ideas could be super cool. Okay. Let's go to a new one. Shadow. Herald of the Sea Shanty. Pirates or seamen who sing sea shanties. Yeah. Oh, I got the flavor right away. Sea shanties are essentially work songs. Okay. Shanties have a call and response style between the shantymen. Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a shantyman. Great. Voyage Toll. A Vicious Mockery deals additional damage equal to the rolled primary die. You may change the damage type of Vicious Mockery to like cold or lightning. Okay. So double the damage from your primary die when casting Vicious Mockery. Is that what it is? Call and response. Can be used. That's fine. That's fine. I'd have to math it out and see how good it is. If it's too good, if it's not good enough, it's fine. It's not super thematic. I like the theme of sea shanty kind of thing. People love pirates, man. This one isn't super on theme. It's not oozing with flavor. Call and response can be used in an action or reaction. Target an ally within reach 6. So I would say reach 6. An ally's next attack has plus 1d4 added to their primary die. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is similar to the Hexbinder, but you're doing this on their turn. Let me see what the Hexbinder is. And if you don't have the Hexbinder, that's okay. I don't expect you to know all of these things. But they have Soothsayer. Whenever combat begins, roll a future sight die, 1d6. Expend it to add or subtract its result from any die a creature within reach 4 rolls during this encounter. Okay, so this is a little bit different. So this is something you're saying like, diddly diddly doo, and then the other guy is saying like, diddly diddly do, right? So like call and response kind of thing, like they get to add this to that. So I would say reach 6. roll 1d4, give that die to an ally. They can add the result to their next primary die, or something like that. That's cool. Reaction target enemy within reach 6, their next stack. Rather than action or reaction, I would just say action, roll a die, roll a d4, give it to an enemy or ally. They subtract or add it to. I don't know. That's cool. I don't know. I'm a little bit underwhelmed by the flavor of it. Mechanically, it's interesting, but I don't know. Joint Sailor, once per encounter. I don't like that kind of thing, because like a lot of kids do play this. And parents might not like that. Make a contested will check against all enemies within range 6. Contested will check against all enemies in range 6. That might be a lot of rolling. It is once per encounter, so maybe it's cool. Any enemies that fail the check are dazed and will go prone on their next turn. Drunk enemies that succeed, check are instead slowed. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. The Shantyman. Once per encounter for all creatures within range 6. Allies only. Allies dealing crit will refund 1 action point. So on crit, gain 1 action. That could be quite dangerous. Enemies. Missing an attack causes them to have disadvantage on the next attack. Okay, so there's something about like when we're creating abilities. So when there's an encounter, so I'm thinking of like Magic, like Magic the Gathering, a card game. When you're playing a game, there's certain cards that are win more cards, right? So like you're already winning, like when you're already winning, like this will just help you win more. It's like it's not really needed. So like the Station feels like that kind of thing. Like when you're critting, like you're just gonna be able to do more things and you'll crit more and like this sort of stuff. And when the enemies are losing, they're just gonna lose more and more and more. So like the fun it happens when there's like tension where like we're not sure who's gonna win. But if it's like, oh yeah, like we're super winning, like this is easy, and like, oh, now we're winning more and more and more. I'm afraid this ability might make the encounter less fun rather than more fun, right? So rather than that is like a better ability would be like when you're losing, this turns the tides, right? Like that could be more fun. When you miss, you crit instead. When they crit you, they miss. Like not that exactly. I'm just giving you an example. Like when they would have gotten this huge big advantage, it's actually like whoopsie daisy. It's actually this other thing. And you're like yeah, right. So it takes the roller coaster of like oh no we're losing, and actually like yeah we're winning, like it's like that kind of thing rather than like oh we're going up, oh we get to go up a little bit more, like that is sort of what I'm thinking. But also like they're not action points, they're just actions, just in the game terms, but like gaining more actions is not really what we want to be doing. Like that restriction of the action economy must be protected. It must really be protected. And like gaining one is a big deal, right? So I don't know. I'd rethink this. Rather than like win more, let's think of things that can like turn the tides when we're losing, right? That will tend to be more fun. Okay, hope that's helpful. Hope that is helpful. Conflux Mage. It's never the first spell you should fear. Interesting. Okay. Attuned Strike once per turn. After you cast a tiered spell, your next cantrip from the same school this turn is a crit. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. So this demands. So, cool idea. What does this mean? This means in order to use this cool ability, it is cool. I cannot use any reaction spells. And I can't use like a cantrip like Heart's Fire because Heart's Fire can't crit. So in order to get the most out of this, I'm really restricting my options. I can't, so if I cast a tiered fire spell, I can't use this cool ice spell that I might want to use. So like Are we restricting the fun too much? Maybe, maybe not. Narrowing down the options can help focus so there isn't like analysis paralysis. But think mechanically about what this means. After you cast a tiered spell, your next cantrip from the same school this turn. So you can only cast a tiered spell that costs 2 actions, or you're casting over multiple turns. So like what we're saying with this, the Conflux Mage doesn't want to help, doesn't want to interpose, doesn't want to assess, he doesn't want to defend, he doesn't want to use like a lot of his spells. This is a cool idea that we may want to rethink. After you cast a tiered spell, your next cantrip, this encounter, so like if we broaden out to this encounter now, like after you cast a tiered spell, gain this status, gain this condition or something. And what does this condition mean? Well, whenever you cast a cantrip next, it does this next thing. It does this cool thing. You can cast it as if you were 5 levels higher. Like that sort of thing might be cool. But we're removing the restriction of it has to be this turn, because if it's this turn, I can't do any of these other cool things that I might want to do, right? And we don't want to shoehorn a class that badly, because assessing is fun and interposing is fun. Yeah, so I'd think about that mechanically. Elemental Ward, choose one spell you know. You gain the following benefits for that school. Your spells do not deal damage to allies. Elemental Ward, you gain the following benefits. Your spells do not deal damage to allies. Allies within your spell's AoE gain +5 damage to their next attack. I think I understand what this is. It's a little bit hard to understand. Okay, so this one. Okay, so you get both of these benefits. Your spells. Okay. I see. Your spells do not harm allies, so I would say harm instead of deal damage, because like some of the ice AoEs like will slow and stuff. Like, well, if it doesn't deal damage, does it also slow me or whatever? So that's cool. And allies within within the spell's area of effect deal extra damage. It shouldn't be a flat extra. Okay, so the damage increases. Damage type. That's cool. I'd have to see how good or bad that is. Spell cascade. So like you're incentivizing using AoE spells. So the Conflux Mage is the AoE mage, I guess, right? So you're incentivizing casting tiered AoE spells, and then you're incentivizing like casting cantrips also. Spell cascade. After you cast a spell, the next spell you cast from the same school this turn costs 1 less action. I wouldn't do that. I definitely wouldn't do that. Getting free actions is not something we want to do. Elemental Ward. The damage bonus for allies increases to +10. Yeah, I would think of something else here. Arcane Zenith spells from your Elemental Ward school are always considered upcast by 1 level. Okay. Okay. Cool ideas. I like the conflux where you're mixing and matching and doing different things. Conflux to me seems like it'd be something that would be like mixing multiple things rather than like sticking with one spell school and focusing on that. So conflux is like mixing multiple things. So like after you cast a tiered spell, your next cantrip from a different school does this and this, right? That seems to be more in line with what you're going for, perhaps. I don't know. Cool ideas. Cook on it a little bit more. Seething Dragon. Dragon's Breath. Reach cone 3 plus in. What is in? What is in? What is in? I don't know what in is. 1d8 plus fire damage. So whatever in is, it should be explained before I see the letter in. Or right after it. So like magic spells will say X magic card. Not that. Okay. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of the library. You know, so X is like included in the mana cost, or like other spells will say, um, something, deal X damage, where X is the number of lands you control, like that kind of thing. So either explain what it is before or explain what it is right then. You may expend Fury dice to increase the range of the Dragon's Breath. So is in, there's not range, it's reach. So increase the range by, okay, so we say that twice. Okay. So about new abilities. So rather than having some new ability or new spell, tack it on to an ability that the Berserker or Mage or Cheat already has, so that I know roughly how good this is. Okay. So the next attack that you make, instead of hitting one creature, it deals damage in a cone 3. Like, okay, now I know how good it is, right? But 1d8 plus so because like this might be fine at level 3, but at level like 10 it's not going to be any good, because like you're not increasing, like this doesn't get extra damage from your fury dice, it doesn't get any of the other cool abilities that you have, it doesn't like, don't add new abilities whenever you can help it. Tack it on to another ability so that I know how good it is. It's like, just like the in the core rules, if we go to ancestries, the Dragonborn doesn't have like in 5e 5e dot tools Dragonborn, not Dragoncorn, Dragonborn. Okay, so so the Dragonborn, I think like they get this damage increases by 1d10 when your character reaches level 5. So like it's just like a fiddly thing that like levels up and does like all these different things, and I think it used to be different. So rather than that, when you attack, you like the draconic characters, the dragon breath, the breath weapon for the Dragonborn and Nimble is like it's added on top of whatever thing you're doing. So it's always going to be balanced. It's always going to be better than the base thing, right? So you don't have to worry about balancing it and doing all these calculations. It's just this additional thing that you can do, right? So with this, definitely not its own thing. It's deal additional or deal damage with your weapon that you already have, however much damage it's doing, just in a cone. Like you can imagine, like you swing your axe down and boom, and it just like, that is a really cool idea, and I know how cool that is. And rather than expending Fury dice to increase the range, just don't worry about that. Like you could just deal 2 actions. Yeah, deal weapon, deal your damage in a cone. Bam, that's awesome. While raging, gain fire resistance. That's not super interesting. I would do something else with Dragonhide. Do something else with Dragonhide. Fire resistance isn't that interesting. Wildfire, your Dragon's Breath now applies smoldering to anyone hit. Okay, that's a cool bonus for your allies. Whenever you kill a smoldering enemy, gain a Fury die. That's cool. That is cool. I do like that. Okay, so question: if there's like 3 goblins, I use the Dragon's Breath attack or Seismic Wave or whatever name you give it. You kill all 3 of them. Did they die while they were smoldering, or did they die before they were smoldering? Like, do I gain Fury dice or not? So like whenever an enemy survives your breath thing, they get you gain it gains smoldering, and whenever a smoldering enemy dies, or whenever you kill a smoldering enemy, gain a Fury die. Maybe, I don't know. It's a little bit fiddly, but there's questions there. Yeah, there's definitely questions there. It's like this guy, he's like only wanting to attack, like with this big breath weapon attack. Like, everybody get out of my way. He's wanting to do this. That's cool. That is cool. Like, I like that. After you draw 4, after you equip an enemy, all enemies within reach 3 must make a will save or become frightened. After you are crit by an enemy. That could be a lot of enemies making a lot of will saves. And then all of them being frightened and the GM having to remember all that. That might be too much. Let's think of something else. Like after you're crit by an enemy, that enemy is frightened. Just automatically. Like maybe that, I don't know. Think about it. Think about it. Again, if we go back to the creator's kit, avoid fiddliness. Can I do this in fewer steps? So right now, as GM, I roll the die, ooh, and I crit. Oh, I get to go do a cool thing. I get to roll the die again. I get to add it up. So like as GM, I'm happy. Okay. Now the Berserker says, all right, I'm going to roar. Rah. Now, like all 5 enemies now have to make some save, and then I have to like figure out who saved and track who. But that's a bunch of steps. Okay, can I make it? Can I do it in fewer steps? Yeah, you could definitely do it in fewer steps. Do it in fewer steps. Okay, Drift for Roar. Conflagration, Dragon's Breath now deals 1d20 plus strength fire damage. Okay, now yeah, okay, so yeah, the Dragon's Breath thing, it gets better. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Cool ideas. I would definitely tweak some of the things. Okay. Path of Seeing Dragon found him initially, but after getting the tiny books and seeing one has to pay more money to get those. Shady way doing things. Sorry about that, Leather. All right. Pact of the Vampire Lord, the Vinnie Conrado one. Oh, I think I already looked at that one. Wave of the Ethereal Force, Zephyr. I think I looked at that one too. Feedback on one of mine. Would you like to pick one? David? Still have a 7 skill. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. I'm just going to sort of, I'll do just a couple more. Keeper of the Strategist Theater. Keeper of the Strategist Theater 2.0. Level 3, Direct Perfection, once per turn. Okay, so just looking at this, there's a lot going on with this subclass. And it should be the numeral 1/turn in parentheses, just so you know. When you make a range attack against your core, you may spend advantage dice before you roll on the following effects. You may choose the same. Oh, there's a hunter. I saw theater, and I just assumed this was a Songweaver. 1 die. Okay. Oh no, Batman. Definitely needs to be simplified. Like, pick a thing and it does this, right? Not like not a bunch of things like this. This is much too much. Yeah, much too much going on. Unfortunately, much too much going on. Were there any others? Keeper. Okay, no, I got that one. The trick making a subclass. Were there any others? If you guys want to ping me, I'll look at a couple more. The next early review, there may or may not be next early review. If there is, it's probably gonna be later in the day, so that people, this was like 4 a.m. for some people. Were there any more that you guys? Champion of the Phalanx. Wyatt Grodsons. My subclass, my friends, and I had a lot of disagreement over the power of the 15. Is this too weak? Exciting. All the fear dice spent count as max. Yeah, probably too good. Probably too good. And he goes in my fears, yeah. Something about phalanx. Pole arms are a bit undervalued. Absolutely, man. I agree with you. Damien, you are not wrong. Made a subclass inspired by Achilles. Nice. Polearm Master. Your reach with pole arms is increased by 1. Ooh. That's interesting. You may wield a shield and a polearm and still attack with it. Ooh. Because phalanxes had shields too. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Ooh. That's good. Shields are very good. Okay, so if you're using a shield, you reduce the die damage die and reach by 1 step. That is fair. Opportunistic thrust. Rather than you can perform opportunity attacks against enemies that leave your reach of polearm, I would say enter the reach of your polearm. It's like before they get you, stab them. I like that. Vicious strikes. All attacks caused by a coordinated strike or use heavy strike, inerrant strike, lunging strike, are vicious. So attacks caused by your commander's orders are vicious. Is that what you're saying? That could be cool. When you defend, you can expend a combat die to increase your armor equal to its roll. Gain +1 max combat die. When you defend, you can expend a combat die to increase your armor. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. Let's draw. Whenever you expend a combat die, gain an action. Definitely not. Definitely not. Last hurrah. Could we do something instead of a last hurrah? Phalanx. So phalanx gives me the vibes of helping your allies, right? I don't know. Last hurrah definitely needs to change, but the others are sweet. Those are sweet. Vicious strikes might not be good enough, but it might be. So we are reducing the damage die size 1 step. So D8, you're critting 1/8 of the time. So you could be critting somewhat often. So like reducing the die size is almost a benefit then. Yeah, cool. We could make the last thing more on theme with phalanx. Gaining +1 max combat die is fine. Defenses tactics, like yeah, that's okay. I don't know. Could you do something like, hey, if an ally is adjacent to you, XYZ? I don't know, because like you're phalanx, right? I don't know. Death Rider Hunter. Yeah, we haven't looked at any hunters yet. As a hunter, you never like being hidden and shooting your little arrows. Instead, you seek the adrenaline of fighting huge beasts head on. Okay, cool. I don't know if Death Rider is a cool enough name. Like death is cool. I don't know. The closer you are, the more fun you have fighting and killing it. You're a monster jockey. Okay, I see. You will almost always attempt to jump and climb onto bigger creatures, trying to get their attention away from your house. Okay, Death Rider makes sense. I take back my comments. Catching a wild ride. If you're adjacent to a creature one size larger than you, and use your come get some full hunt ability against them as part of the same action, you jump onto them, gain the right condition. Okay, I would not. So as part of the same action, don't do that kind of thing. That's very much a 5e kind of thing. But if you're adjacent to a larger enemy, gain riding. Yeah, like that. That's cool. Because typically riding requires a check, right? So you have to do this. But like it's just something you do. Just a whoop. There you go. I'm on top of you, right? I would not connect this. I would not require a subclass ability to require a choice that hasn't been made yet, right? So level 3, come get some. You haven't chosen that yet, have you? Or even if you have chosen it already, like I don't want my subclass abilities to require a particular other choice. Okay, so you have chosen it already. Come get someone. Come get action. Attack a target. It is taunted by you until the end of the next turn. No, just decouple them. Yeah, just decouple them. There's no need for those to be attached. Okay, so yeah, you can just jump on top of a monster. That's cool, but not cool enough. You have advantage on riding and grappling checks. No, just let them have it. Just let them do it. Riding creature. If a riding creature is attacked and suffers at least 1 damage, Must make a strength or dex save to stay on. So there's new rules? No, I wouldn't have new rules for it. The creature being ridden can end. It's basically grapple. You can end it just like any grapple. Didn't know it was this high once per counter. Okay. So just being able to gain riding on a larger creature is not cool enough by itself. So level 3 should have like catch a wild ride. You have gain riding. But a lot of encounters aren't going to have a large creature. A lot of encounters are going to have small and tiny, medium creatures only. So think about what that means. I still need to be able to do my cool thing, even if the GM isn't giving me like only large creatures, right? Or it's a large creature, but it's flying, you know. Okay, so just being able to gain riding for free, or it still costs an action, but like being able to do it without having to make this check is cool. It's not cool enough. So it's this, and when you're riding on a creature, X, Y, and Z. It should be that. Or when you attack a creature that you're adjacent to, X, Y, and Z. So like incentivize me being up close, right? Once per encounter reaction when falling or being forcefully thrown, reduce fall damage by out. So no, you take no damage when coming off of a creature you were riding. Like just let him have it, and something else at level 7. Like not cool enough. Out of the way, 2 actions if riding. So again, everything requires riding. What if there aren't any large creatures? Or like, you would only pick this ability, this subclass, if you're like a small ancestry. I don't know. I don't want to punish people or like shoehorn people into that. A failed strength save. You move the creature you are riding equal to its speed in any direction. The consequence. Yeah. It shouldn't be a strength save. If anything, it would be a will save. But like I don't know. If like this is sort of like a save or suck kind of thing. Like it could be cool, but like if they save, like, oh, I just wasted my whole turn. I wasted 2 actions. Sorry, I spent an action to gain riding, and I spent 2 actions, my whole turn, to do this, and then like, oh no, he saved. Because larger creatures are always going to be stronger than you, and likely have advantage on their strength things or whatever. So maybe we'll save, like they're too dumb to. I don't know. It should be cooler than that. You are going down with me. Action when dismounting a ridden creature may hold onto it and drag it to the ground with you. Then prone, you stand cool on its head. Okay. So with this guy, think Legolas on the Oliphant. Okay. Think Legolas on the Oliphant. It should be way cooler than it is. This has potential to be very fun, but I don't know. Keep cooking on this one. All right. All right, 2 more. Path of the Princess and Root and Thorns. Path of the Princess. Okay. Pact of the Princess. Okay. Okay. So right away, I like the idea of Pact of the Princess. As a gift of your birth, you were blessed by the fairies or a god. You gave your impressive power and affinity with the beasts. So is the Shadowmancer a princess, or did he make a pact with a very powerful princess? Or like, do I have to be a princess to do this? It's like, if I'm a guy, can I pick this subclass? So those are some questions that I have. As a gift of your birth, you're blessed by the fairies or god. Is a princess. Slay the princess subclass. My best friend, you gain the lesser invocation. My favorite pet for free, but it is a little animal companion. Okay, so this person is playing like a Disney princess. It cannot attack and will always hide in combat. You're making a pact with a princess and you become more princess-like. Oh, is this one of your centaur? No, this is Chumimango. Chuminguano. Okay. Your colors of the wind. Your patron. Okay, this is a bit of a silly one, I think. Your patron grants you knowledge of wind spells. Your shadow minions transform into magical woodland creatures. Your shadow blast minions can do color slash image. Come on, little friends. When summoning shadow minions, you can summon 2 per action. They can fly, and your shadow minion limit doubles. Double your shadow. That's probably too good. It's probably way too good. It's probably way too good. Sing from the Heart. You may cast either storm with 2 uses of pilfered power to add a charm effect on all enemies for int turns. Sing from the Heart. Loves the answer as an action. Pay off your. Yeah, I don't know. This one is a bit. I don't get the flavor. Like, you are a princess, but your pact is with a princess, and then like, I don't know what to say about this one. I don't know what to say about this one. Root and Thorns. Sorry. Dan Draco. All right. Stormshifter, cool. Verdant boons. Gain access to 2 new chimeric boons. Choosing at least one of these boons lets you use this circle's features in your beast shift form. Root. You cannot move or be moved until the start of your next turn. Gain will plus level temp HP. Interesting. Thorns. When hit in melee, the attacker takes level piercing damage, ignore armor. Bark skin. Gain +1. Cool. I like it. So I'm not sure like where the what is what roots, thorns, and bark skin. It says gain 2, but there's 3 here. I don't understand the layout of it, but I like the ideas here. Vine Whip, you get a new action. Okay, so this is like a new spell. So again, be careful with new spell kinds of things. Vine Whip action once per turn, range 8 damage. Okay. On hit, choose one of the following. Pull target towards you 2 spaces. So I could pull a Tarask 2 spaces closer to me with my little vine. I don't know. Be careful about that kind of thing. Move yourself adjacent to the target. So if smaller, this. If your size are larger, that, or something. I don't know. Channel Nation. But there is already a Terramancy spell school if you want to check it out. Channel Nature. So rather than like replacing all the things the Stormshifter can do, like add on to it. Like hook into all the things the class can already do. This is a subclass, not like a new replacement class, right? Channel Nature, like why would I do these things rather than the things I can already do? Like let me do the things I can do, like more, better, differently, that kind of thing. Action, grow a plant minion with speed 0 within summon an immobile plant minion. Okay, what does he do? Once per turn, command all plants to do 1 action at once. Okay, once per turn, command all plant minions to, attack a target. Attack a target within reach 2, heal. So the immobile, they shouldn't be able to interpose. I don't know. I don't know. It feels like I don't know. It could be cool. Like if this subclass was like the subclass for like he has a little plant minion, and it's different than the Shadowmancer, and it's different from the Shepherd in this way. Okay, like you have to differentiate it. Okay, so how is this different from those 2 guys? Like, okay, I make a little plant dude, he can interpose for me. Okay, cool. Like the other 2 guys who have summons, they can't do that. So that's different. It can heal. Okay, that's new. Like, but the shepherd one can do that. It can attack. Well, the other one, like, so if we're gonna do that, like let's go all the way in that. Like that whole thing is a subclass in and of itself, but we need to make sure we differentiate how that little dude it works. You know, I like that it's like an immobile thing. It's a plant like. You grow a helpful plant thing, comes out of the ground. Therefore, that's why it's immobile, right? Okay, and it can only do things within this area, but it can do cool things within an area. I don't know, maybe. So that could be level 3, and the level 7, and it can do an additional thing. Level 11, it can do it better. It grows bigger and it has more reach or whatever, you know. Garden 2 AP. There's no AP, so 2 actions. Consume all your plant minions and cover a 4x4 area in plant growth in the base. There's too much going on here. You can spend 1 mana to do it. Yeah, I don't know. Tree stride action, you can swap place with your plant minions. It's a cool idea. Bloom when you are within range 2 of your plant minion, gain +2 armor. That's cool. I wouldn't say bloom. I would call it like, you know, iron bark or something. Grove tender, channel nature, now summons. Okay, so yeah, if we're going to go with plant minions, or a plant minion, hopefully like this is like, so it's not a minion, this is an environmental thing, and it does a thing for anybody who's in this area, okay? So it's different because the Shadow Mancer's minions, like, they actually have to move and attack, and they could be killed. The Shepherd, his dude can't be killed, but it can't move around independently. It sort of like moves wherever you are. But this is like here. You have to be here, right? Maybe that, and then it can do different things. I don't know. I would definitely say pick a lane. There's too much going on here. There's too much going on here. Pick a lane, focus a bit, keep it cool and streamlined and neat and fun and very clearly like better like than the thing that we have. So like avoid this kind of situation, right? Don't replace all the fun things I could do as a storm weaver, storm shifter, whatever already. Don't replace all the things I could do. Let me do those, like, let me do like a couple of extra cool, interesting things, right? We don't need like 5 new spells or attacks that I can do. Like just let me do the cool thing I can already do, but like with plants, you know, on top of it. Okay. All right, Paraculio. I'll check out just your last one. Okay, Coven of Thorn and Soil to compare. Real quick. Really quick. Soil. Hexamer subclass. From thorn to soil, from blood to berry, their covenant is endless harvest of life and death. Mother Earth, you gain knowledge of terramancy spells. Ooh, okay, yeah. Mother's Embrace, int times per safe rest, you may gain advantage. Gain knowledge of terramancy spells. Maybe. You may gain advantage on Naturecraft check. Okay. Verdant Bloom, when you roll initiative, cast Minberry for free. Okay. Blood fertilizer, I don't know. Whenever an afflicted creature dies next to a Minberry bush, it grows an additional berry. Okay, that is kind of cool. Maybe compost. quick compost. Root stride. Move your Minberry bush up to your speed. Okay, so cool ideas. Grasping roots. Learned the enfeebled affliction. Okay, so as you're thinking about this subclass, so the Hexbinder already has a healing spell. Would this Minberry, with all of the cool things that it can do, would it overshadow the healing spell? What is the healing spell? Would this overshadow that? What are the spells? Life Bloom. So would I only ever want to cast Minberry and not Life Bloom? If so, then we're not doing it. We're not doing good. We have a land, gain advantage against enfeebled targets, mythical berries. So yeah, a lot of berry stuff. Cool ideas. I'd be careful about replacing too many of the Hexbinder things. Hexbinder has enough going on already. Like she has her own afflictions and things like do something with afflictions, do something with her existing spells. If you want to give her like 1 or 2 terramancy spells that make the most sense, or give her afflictions, like give her like 1 additional affliction, like that kind of thing would probably be better for a Hexbinder subclass, rather than like, oh, like she only does terramancy stuff, right? Yeah, I would think about that. Okay, guys, that is it. That's enough. That's enough for me. I've been streaming for a while. Okay, thank you guys so much for hanging out. This is ending next Sunday, the 12th, I believe. Is ending next Sunday, the 12th. So appreciate you guys. I will